This is Before the Pitch, where we can love New York baseball no matter what shade of blue you are wearing. I am Scott, the Yankee fan, and today I'd like to talk about something that's beyond the Yankees, beyond the Mets, and just the size of baseball itself. And no, we're not talking about any more cheating. I'd like to address points made in this tweet that I'm putting up right here. And if you notice the tweet, you might also notice the amount of likes on the tweet. And most disturbingly about this is the amount of similar opinions that I've seen circulating quite often as far as the Twitter sphere, as far as baseball goes. What this is calling for is the idea that baseball viewership should be a part of this elitist group that you somehow need to achieve a rite of passage to be a part of, and we don't want the outsider. We don't want casual fans there. They are not good enough to watch the game and watch this with us. Here's point number one why that's a terrible idea and why that's so wrong. One, baseball is America's pastime. Meaning, it's supposed to be inclusive to everyone of all ages, of all interest levels. Everyone's supposed to find something enjoyable in baseball. To agree with this tweet and to agree with that opinion, you're completely rejecting the foundations of baseball, what it's supposed to be. It's not an elitist sport. It's the everyone sport. And that's problem number one if you're not willing to bring in new people and understand what this is all about. Here's the economic problem with this is baseball has lost the casual fan, which is the reason why we're losing viewers and losing money. Believe it or not, the vast majority of sports watching people are casual fans. They're not people who are going to sit down every week no matter what, or in baseball every day no matter what, and always be hung on their phones and always be reading everything. That's not the casual that's not the majority of people. That's in fact the very, very minority of people. So we should appeal economically with marketing and everything. I know marketing is a problem by itself. I absolutely know that. But we should be appealing to the greater amount of people because those people are going to bring in the most money. That's the people who are going to be the most able to contribute. And here's what I mean by that. If you appeal to me, you're not gaining much. Because no matter what, win, lose, draw, whatever, I'm going to at least 2 Yankee games this year. I live 2.5 hours away. If I was closer, I'd be going to more. No matter what, you don't need to sell to me because I'm already sold. What we need to do is we need to bring in Joe next door. Now, Joe next door likes sports. He just likes life. Joe needs to talk about baseball during his lunch break. He needs to put on the game and enjoy a beer after work. He needs to call his friends and be like, hey, you know what? The Yankees are winning recently. Let's go to a game and let's get a group to go. We'll have fun. They go. They spend a lot of money at the game. They have fun. They like it so much, they watch the game the next night. A few months later, hey, you know what? We got a free weekend and a few extra bucks. Let's go again. All of a sudden, now you have a cycle of a fan who is casual and more interested, and he's talking about it at work and at lunch, and he's spreading the appreciation for the game. Joe next door is not doing that with baseball. Joe next door is doing that with football, basketball, and MMA. And a big part of that is football has really grab the casual audience, especially with fantasy football, because fantasy football, what's so brilliant about it is it gives people a reason to care even if they don't like football, because The Office is doing a fantasy football league just for fun, and it doesn't matter you don't know who these people are, you just have fun, goof off for about 20 minutes for a draft, and who knows, you get a couple $100 at the end of the season, and you get the bragging rights in the office, and you get a goofy trophy, and it matters to people who don't care about football. Nothing about baseball is mattering to people who don't care about baseball. That's a big problem, because that's the reason why attendance is going so low. And obviously, yes, marketing is a big part of it, and so are blackouts. But if you're going to tell me, this one drives me nuts, this argument, well, if Manfred's not changing the rules, more people will be interested. Really? How many people do you actually think know what the 3-batter minimum rule actually is? How many people actually do you think know what instant replay does in baseball? How many people do you think care about, I don't know, pitch clocks, something like that. These are things that the diehard fan is getting worked up about, and we don't see that. Most people don't know about. So to blame it on that, I think, is complete ignorance, and is absolutely. It's absolutely foolish. No one is being driven away because that. You might be aggravated as a diehard fan, but you're not being driven away from it. Now, the role of the diehard fan is to increase the interest of the casual fans. When the casual fan comes in, they meet a diehard. The diehard gets them more interested. And it's an entire ecosystem, which is awesome. And you offer perks to diehard fans to encourage almost moving up the ladder in fandom. But it is not exclusive to them, and that is the big difference between how we should be operating and this elitist idea represented in this tweet. The casual fan brings money by bringing a lot more people and gets more people involved, and that's the majority of the population. We need those people because those are the people who are throwing Super Bowl parties. You don't throw World Series parties. Joe goes to his friend's house on Sundays just to watch the games. It's just see what's going on. Even if you're not doing the whole thing, you throw on a jersey, and they're not doing that with baseball, and that is a big problem. That is the reason why we're in the hole that we're in, is because we lost this demographic. Don't you understand? And to completely reject them is so counterintuitive. That's also called gatekeeping. The idea of you're not deserving of it, but only I am. The real fans will show up. No, you should be encouraging more people to come in so you can help turn them into real fans. That's the idea. You know who does this correctly? What sport does this fantastically is WWE. Because WWE fans are so passionate about what they watch, and they know that it's goofy, but if someone gives a small inkling that they watched wrestling once, a WWE fan from across the room will catch it out of their ear. They'll be like, oh, hey, you used to watch it? Let me show you more. Check out this video on my phone. Dude, it's I know it's kind of goofy, but I promise, just give into the madness and just turn on an episode. You know what? Come over and watch it tomorrow night. It's really great. I'll explain it. We'll have a great time. WWE fans love bringing people in because they want everyone to be in on the joke and so into the madness. They want people there, and that's why it's a fantastic, fantastic fan base to be a part of. I am proudly a part of that. But there's a huge difference between them and between baseball, and that really needs to change. And quite frankly, this gatekeeping idea is not helping our cause of bringing people in. If you want this to be your small little inner circle, you are not someone who I think would get along with me very, very well. I want everyone to be in on this game. I am not going to kick people out, especially when we need people to come in. So that's all I got for today, everybody. Be sure to comment, subscribe. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Before the Pitch. We have an actual audio-only podcast, which will be covering topics much separate from the YouTube channel, where our YouTube channel still talks about the Yankees and Mets. The podcast will be covering youth sports or youth baseball, and how your kid can be watching baseball and how you can relate to your kid through baseball. And we got some partners that we're kind of partnering up for that, so we're really excited for that. Right, take care, everybody. And we talk baseball because we know ESPN's not going to, but they will if you casual fans show up and you encourage them to show up.